Shalom and greetings to you all. And Happy New Year, everyone. Go and sing Old Lang Syne again, or maybe switch to, Happy Days Are Here Again. Happy days are here again. The skies above are clear again. Let us sing a song of cheer again. Happy days are here again. We could all use happy days. Remember, it is the year of the rat is now upon us. Not the most pleasant animal to think of, but everyone and everything has good and bad. And it is time for new beginnings. A time to think about the changes you might need to make for you. Not for anyone else, just for you. And there was a wonderful gathering in Jerusalem for the World Holocaust Forum, which unfortunately has been a little drowned out by the World Economic Forum, which a few years ago I was invited to participate in when the topic was religious tolerance and cooperation. And you can see that's gone nowhere. With all the current and south of the border political goings on, and of course the medical news happening, where the World Health Organization does not yet want to consider a crisis, even though as of now over 35 million people have been quarantined. I guess not enough that we actually know about, having either been infected or dead, for us to really consider it a crisis. So we're missing out on a lot of what's happening over with this important forum, and how lucky we are to have organizations and governments that are monitoring everything for us. If you want a ticket to Wuhan, I bet they're pretty cheap right now. Anyhow, all this overshadowing of this very important event, it was not just about the Holocaust, my friends, but it's about stemming this tide of rising anti-Semitism. Let's hope things change for the better. And I hope you did get a chance to read about it, maybe see some of the highlights of it. Now remember, the steps that you take are always personal steps. But what you can do that is best for you. You make the little steps that change the world. Okay? We each reach and accomplish and succeed, going for what we want, not for what others tell us to do or tell us what we cannot do. Our duty as men and women, all of us, is to proceed as if limits to our ability simply don't exist. Don't let anybody clip your wings, my friend. No bird soars too high if he soars with his own wings. Right? So don't let people put you down. Now, the snow and the cold that hit suddenly a week or so ago, I was out, walking around with my dogs, and I saw a neighbor of mine struggling. And it reminded me that if we can, we should try and take some of the time during these terrible months of the year to make sure we visit those who do not get a chance to get out in winter conditions. See how they're doing. Help them with groceries. Just spend a little time and be a friend. And it's an important thing to do, because we don't see people because they're locked in, especially up here in the Northeast. Anyhow, visit somebody, get them some groceries, make sure everybody's okay. All right? Because we are a community as human beings, and we're a community as we gather ourselves of like-minded, like-souled fellows who seek the unification of spirit. It's not a religious thing, it's a human thing. The collective consciousness of seekers who come together in our showing of faith, of love, a community. It's a chavura, a fellowship. We express our needs of kindness to each other, compassion, thoughts, feelings, hopes, dreams, and wishes. It's what unites us all in this house of spirit, this community house of spirit, Beth Ruach. So once again, please do go ahead and invite everybody, physically, psychically, emotionally, or spiritually, to gather and share from Psalm 133, the Hine Matov. Come together. Hine Matov. שבת אחי גם יחד, הנה בטוב עם עדיין, שבת אחי גם יחד. How good and how pleasant it is for brothers and sisters together. Community, together. Let's all spread love, goodwill, and fellowship to the world as a community, because remember, friends, this is your setting aside just a little bit of your sacred time in your sacred space to honor and converse with whoever, whatever you happen to believe in. It's a part of your kavanah, your intention that you put out to the universe. It's your goodwill. Let's send some of that goodwill out to invoke healing and renewal for everybody, because it floats through space, finding those in need. So send it out. For those you know, and for the souls and spirits of everybody you love. Think of whoever. It just needs healing, renewal, and love, or just plain goodwill. Focus on them. Call their names. It's not just for people. It's for our pets. It's for the animals that are our friends. It's for the earth. It is the healing of the world, the tikkun olam, that is part of our spiritual genetic makeup. Let's send thoughts and energy for health and renewal for everybody in need. For those in our hearts and our minds, for Esther and Claudia, for Talaluya and Oscar, for Bob and Dan, for John and Fazia, for Deborah and Devora. Friends, it is the kindness, the healing wishes, the goodwill and love that we all send out. It circles the world finding those in need. So thank you, each of you, for all you do, for all you care, because the world is a world of spirit. And spirit, my friends, never dies. Me, Shabbat, Avotenu, Makor HaBracha, Vivotenu. May the source of strength bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage. Make our lives a blessing. The renewal of body. The renewal of spirit. Let us say, Amen. Yishaberach, let us all have our spirits renewed, because we all need renewal, friends. This is the great prayer for healing, in which we call upon God to heal as he has healed before. Mishaberach, may he who blessed, because all healing is a blessing. Let's send and receive healing and renewal energy in our efforts to love, to share, to care, to grow together. Now, last week we began an extremely powerful book, Shemot, Exodus. This week we really begin one of the most famous parts of that book, the introduction of God to Pharaoh, as we read Va'era, and I appeared. Now, we learn a little about Moses at the beginning of this parsha, and we will soon begin referring to him always as Moses the man. But we don't learn enough about him to ever really say we know him. We know who he is, and that's because what this book is really about is the road to freedom. But we know nothing about Moses himself. And this road to freedom is really what it's all about, because that's the road that many of us are still on. Many a mile to freedom, many a smile to tell. Ask my bluebird to sing you from the heart of a wishing well. If you should ask me to give you the reason for life that we know, then together we flow like the river. Together we melt like the snow. And friends, we do flow like a river. All of us together, we're always flowing together. This parsha introduces us to the plagues of Egypt. One of those famous stories that everybody knows. It's the pounding message to let my people go. Exodus 7:1. And Yahweh said to Moses, see, I've made you a god to Pharaoh, and Aaron your brother will be your prophet. You shall speak everything that I will command you, and Aaron your brother shall speak to Pharaoh, that he let the children of Israel go from his land, and I will harden Pharaoh's heart, and I'll multiply my signs and my wonders in the land of Egypt, and Pharaoh won't listen to you. And I'll set my hand in Egypt and bring out my masses, my people, the children of Israel, from the land of Egypt, with great judgments. And Egypt will know that I am Yahweh when I reach out my hand on Egypt, and I'll bring out the children of Israel from among them. Moses was 80 years old. Aaron was 83 years old when they spoke to Pharaoh. Now notice a few things, because these things are things that will come up again and again. Make you question some of what you've been taught in the past. There is an emphasis on the magnitude of what is being done. And that is brought up by giving weight, mass to things, constant references also to Pharaoh's heart being heavy and hardened. And later, we'll read about the weight on Moses for carrying a nation on his shoulders, one he never asked for. Notice also the elevation of Moses. Now, there's the danger in the elevation of Moses to the status of a god, which comes up again later, because this alone adds to the myth of the man. Now, notice also that Moses is instructed to repeat, not interpret the words of God. When he speaks to Pharaoh, he is to repeat. And this will come up because he doesn't always repeat, and you will see every law later will be predicated on the belief that God said these words to Moses. Notice also the confession. God will control Pharaoh's actions and reactions. God says he will harden Pharaoh's heart so that he won't let the people go, even when Pharaoh's prepared to. Notice that God says this whole episode is purely about making himself known. Now remember, when this began, God said he would lead the people to Egypt and lead them out. Well, as we know, this is 400 years later, and he's now fulfilling the second part of that promise, that he's now going to lead the people out. Due to translation, one thing you will not notice, which goes against what you've been taught and what everyone knows happens. Exodus 7:9. When Pharaoh will speak to you, saying, produce a wonder, then say to Aaron, take your staff and throw it in front of Pharaoh, let it become a serpent. Now the Hebrew is very specific here. It says a serpent, not a snake. They're actually quite different in terms of biblical Hebrew. See, this is different from the snake that Moses' staff became earlier. Moses performed that miracle for the Israelite elders, turning his staff into a snake. Now in front of Pharaoh, Aaron's staff becomes a tanin. Now this is the term that's used for the big sea serpents that God made on the fifth day of creation. These are not merely snakes, as people often picture them. These are extraordinary creatures from a seemingly unearthly realm. Just adds to the power of this. Now this week, we're going to be introduced to the first 7 plagues. You got to say, how many do you need? In reality, you only need 1. Several of the plagues by themselves were enough to wipe out Egypt completely by themselves. So why 10? You will see that they progress in certain ways. The first 3 really deal more with inconveniences, almost like a setup of what is to come. And it, of course, starts with the Nile, the lifeblood of Egypt. Exodus 7:17. The Lord said this, by this you'll know that I am Yahweh. Here I'm striking with the staff that's in the hand on the waters that are the Nile, and they'll be changed into blood. By this you'll know that I am Yahweh. This is the story of the introduction of the deity by name to the world. So this statement can be understood not only as establishing the existence of the named deity to Pharaoh, but also establishing what the name conveys. And what I mean by that is, by this, a miracle involving a change of nature, because we're about to change the nature of things, you'll know that I am Yahweh, which means the one who causes being. What a powerful statement that is. This change in the normal nature of things tells you that I'm the one who causes being. Think about that for a minute. Take the name away and instead put what the name means. We quickly, then move on. We get blood, we get frogs, we get lice. And like I say, these first 3, they're all inconveniences. None alone are enough to end this country's existence. Notice next we have a distinction that starts to take place. Exodus 8:18. And I shall distinguish in that day the land of Goshen on which my people is standing, for no insect swarm to be there, so that you will know that I, Yahweh, am within the land. And again, the name is a verb, so change the name to the verb, so that you will know that I am the one who causes being in the land. And Yahweh did so, and a heavy insect swarm, heavy, came to Pharaoh's house and his servant's house. And all the land of Egypt, the land was corrupted because of the insect swarm. Now here we get that term heavy, starting with this insect swarm. Notice all of the plagues that, become heavy. You can almost feel the weight of them because it's all about how many and how heavy this all is. It becomes the theme for this whole section. Boy, you're gonna carry that weight a long time. Boy, you're gonna carry that weight a long time. So our 4th plague is this insect swarm, a horde. But it doesn't affect Goshen. That's the distinction. And so we now see this distinction between the 2 groups. It's not so simple to account for like the Nile affecting everybody or frogs. Like both of those affected all. The 5th plague is described as a cattle disease. Now, once again, the term used is a very heavy epidemic. Okay? So cattle die, but not Israelite cattle. And Pharaoh's heart was heavy, and he did not let the people go. Right? So So the plague was heavy, Pharaoh's heart was heavy, and he wouldn't let the people go. The letting the people go is, of course, the exercise of individual freedom. Being released from the bonds that hold us, what we have fought our entire lives and still fight for. Never give up that fight, my friends. We are always seeking our freedom. They say everything can be replaced. They say every distance is not near. So I remember every face of every man who put me here. I see my light come shining from the west and to the east. Any day now, any day now, I shall be released. And songs of freedom have always rung out for man. And you shall have your freedom, my friends, all of you. You'll all be free. Now for the sixth plague, Moses takes a furnace ash. What a symbol. Nowhere else is such a term used. Throws it in the air. Boils descend on the nation. Exodus 9:12. And Yahweh strengthened Pharaoh's heart, and he did not listen to them, as Yahweh had spoken to Moses. An interesting thing takes place. God steps in to keep Pharaoh from relenting and letting the people go. And God tells us his reason. Exodus 9:16. And in fact, I established you for this purpose, for the purpose of showing you my power, and in order to tell my name in all the earth. So he created Pharaoh as an all-powerful in order to crush him and show his superiority and make his name known throughout the whole world. Now, there's something not very godly about that. I know we say there's only one God, one great creative force in nature, but this is just not quite the same God of Genesis. This is different. This is not talked about very often. But ask anyone and they will tell you it was Pharaoh. He wouldn't let the people go. Well, friends, even when he wanted to, he was prevented. This was all about God making himself known. Now we end this group of plagues with the burning hail, Exodus 9:19. And now, send. Protect your livestock and everything that you have in the field. Every human and animal that will be found in the field will not be gathered into the house. The hail will come down on them and they'll die. So our seventh plague is hail, a fire and ice that kills, thunder and lightning, flashing, sounds and sights. There was a very heavy hail, with fire flashing in the midst of the hail, the like of which there had not been in all the land of Egypt from the time it became a nation. Once again, heavy. A flame within the hail, fire and ice. Never had before had anything like it been seen. Yes, my friends, the world is sacred. So is everything in it. Express your gratitude. Light a candle. Make a wish. Celebrate your life and the lives of those you love. Share your feelings with them. Live free, be free, honor your freedom. Be well, be happy, and be blessed. Now share and honor the light and all who live in the light and continue to shine. Continue to send everybody you know goodwill and love. Pray for peace and freedom for everyone. An end to terror and hatred. Remember, friends, we're a community. We learn together. We celebrate each other. We love each other. We share this ride together, men and women equally. So let us send out love, not fear. Send out peace, harmony, goodwill, and healing to all who need it. And please do learn to forgive and learn to love, including yourself, maybe especially yourself. Open your hearts. Honor the relationships of your life. Tell those you love that you love them. Take advantage of the time you have. Enjoy the journey because we take the twists and turns and the patterns that weave through the fabric of our lives in our effort to grow, to learn, to be, to love. So please do love. Now, bless you all. Have a fantastic week, a week of love and light, a week of peace, a week of miracles. Examine your intention. Use them to imprint your will on the universe because we set in motion everything that happens. Our intention, our Kavana, our cause, our effect, everything is linked. As I've said, you always have time to forgive and to be forgiven. You have the knowledge of what's good, what's bad. So acknowledge what you've done wrong to yourself, to God, and to any person you've wronged, and ask forgiveness. But do so with sincerity, accountability, and vulnerability. Forgive those who have hurt you as you learn to be forgiving and compassionate. Because the secret of forgiveness, compassion, and peace, my friends, is in acceptance, Can you accept yourself, other people in the world just as they are? Can you accept life as it is without trying to control it? If you do, you can experience the peace that acceptance brings. So do not stop your journey. Keep moving towards your promised land. It is your home. Keep on dreaming, keep on being, keep sharing, keep shining, keep teaching. Keep spreading joy and goodwill. Do not follow fear, follow love. It's always in front of you. And remember to have faith, an unwavering adherence to principle. Just as I have faith in the principle of love in all of you, act with purity of heart and mind. Despise none, defraud none, hate none. Cherish all. Honor every child of God, every creature of the earth. May all people know peace this year. May you nurture kindness and love everywhere you go. Work to be present in the body. Expand the heart, quiet the mind, because the deepest source of real power, my friends, lies in consciousness and the ability to be mindful, to be aware, to be present in all of life's circumstances. So make the most of your time in life. Continue to touch and transform lives around you, because you are never alone. You're forever blessed and have the ability to bring blessings to everybody you meet. Your words are your power to transform the world around you. Embrace love, not fear, forgiveness, not anger, and be there for someone. Someone will always be there for you, whether you know it or not. Continue to always explore faith and belief in what they mean to you, and never accept shame as a natural state. Whatever you feel others have felt, whatever you've experienced, others have too. We share together. We learn together. We help each other. We are each of us trying to find and accept love and support. We all have or could have that special someone in our lives, so find them and tell them what they mean. And remember, you're never alone. And watch what you say. Your words are your key, my friends. They hurt you, they heal you, they imprison you, and they free you. Keep forgiving those you need to forgive, and keep asking forgiveness of those you need to ask forgiveness of. And listen to that voice of God as he, she, it talks to you, because you will be called upon at some point. And friends, freedom is what this whole book is about. Without it, we die. Right? You all are going to be free. White bird in a golden cage on a winter's day in the rain. A white bird in a golden cage alone. The leaves blow across the long black road to the darkened skies in its range, and the white bird just sits in its cage alone. White bird must fly, it will die. White bird must fly, my friends. That was by It's a Beautiful Day, David and Linda LaFlamme. I always love that song. We all must fly. We all must be free. Have a wonderful week. Wonderful New Year. Make a wish. It will come true. And I will see you all again real soon. Shabbat shalom and blessings to you all. Take care. Bye.